Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I want to show you my best solves from Stevenage Spring 2022. For 2x2 I had completely failed to practice it before the competition and I was left to relearn like 25 algorithms an hour before it started, which did not bode well. Despite that though, I managed to come out with a 238 PR single and a decent 398 average. I even got a mini pop that I managed to stop in the fourth solve. This secured me 30th place, which was more than enough to get into finals. After that was a short wait for 4x4 round 1. After only competing in it once about 3 years ago and having a 119 average, I was pretty sure I could beat it by about half a minute. I also came in clutch with a 38-second single, which was an overall PB and PR. This easily got me into second round. Pyraminx was a heck of a ride. After my unexpected success in my last competition, I wasn't really expecting to get any PRs, but after a pretty consistent set of solves, I got a 585 average. The last solve was a bit of a nightmare, being a 960 along with some scrambling problems. I would have also had a 314 single, but the last side turned after I put it down, making it a 514. I also got the chance to scramble for 3 of the groups, which was slightly stressful, but proved to be good practice because I was up straight after. I was in group 4 for Skewb, so I had some time after lunch to practice. After my last time competing in Skewb being a complete disaster, I was going to play it safe and try not to break any cubes. Luckily, nothing bad happened. I was aiming for a sub 10 average and I got a 971. I also got an unexpected 6.9 to make it better. Overall, better than expected. 5x5 was also a nice surprise. I was hoping to beat the cutoff of 2 minutes and suffice it to say I did. I had a 135 average, which is way faster than what I average at home, and a 127 single, which was an overall PR and PB again, not that I realised that time. There was another gap before 2x2 finals, and I spent that time relearning even more algorithms. Overall, it was much more consistent, with a better average and slower single compared to round 1. A 337 average is pretty good for me, and a 284 single is normal. 4x4 round 2 was slightly worse than my astonishing round 1, but I was still trying to get into finals. Unfortunately, I was about second off, but I was still content, getting a 48 average and a 44 single. Pyraminx Finals went very well. I came 17 out of 79 and got a 395 PR single. The average was worse, but I was still very happy with it. Look at that face. That is the face of a happy man. I had zero expectations for Skewb Final, but I somehow got a 902 average and a 464 single. I mean, I must have been surprised. I even raised my eyebrows. 5x5 Finals was incredibly sedate. Everyone had left by this point in the day, Skewb Finals had finished, and what nerd gets into 5x5 Finals? Anyway, I think the quietness of the venue kind of helped me here. I think it let me focus better, giving me a slightly slower 130 single and 136 average. See you tomorrow. Finally, it was time to do 3x3. The first round had some quite sloppy turning, but I managed to pull through with a 931 on the third solve and barely a sub 11 average. Nowadays, my goal for a 3x3 average is to get at least one sub 10 single, so I was pretty content with it. I was very nervous for one-handed, because in my last competition I got a blazing fast 1849. These nerves were then reinforced when I got a DNF on the first solve for stopping the timer with my other hand. I wish I could say I clawed back the average, but a counting 32 led to disaster. I was very excited for Blindfolded. This was my first time ever competing in it, and while I had no expectations to succeed, I was hyped for the atmosphere. If you don't know, whenever Blindfolded is taking place in a cubing competition, the organisers ask that the whole room be silent so people can concentrate. Here, listen to this. Now listen to this. And this. And this. Needless to say, being a part of that was exhilarating. Unfortunately, I messed up the memorization on the first solve, so I was left with a few unsolved corners. The second solve was a different story though. I had some solid memo and the execution was very accurate. I almost forgot to rotate 2 corners at the end, but luckily I remembered before I stopped the timer. Now that is the face of someone who just can't put their excitement into words. Literally, we weren't allowed to talk. I didn't have enough time to do the third solve, so I stopped it before execution, but I still could not be happier. Sorry. 3x3 round 2 was almost exactly the same as round 1. I got a high 10 average, but this time barely scraped through with a sub 9 single on the second solve. Megaminx. I have a long history with this event. I nearly made a whole video about why I dislike it, and then I did make a video about why I dislike it. But you know what? I think we've all matured in that time, and we can now agree that it still sucks. I do like a good challenge though, and getting cut off for this event has eluded me for many months. I was even quite confident this time. Maybe every couple of solves at home I would get the time I needed, so maybe I would be able to make cut off this time. No. Moving on. I somehow made it to one-handed finals after an atrocious first round. This time it was much better and more consistent. I came away with a 22 single and a 24 average, which, whilst not being groundbreaking, are still pretty respectable. 3x3 semi-finals was my second best official average ever. I was happy getting 2 sub 10 singles and the low 10 average was very nice. Unfortunately, it probably won't be good enough to get into finals. Well, that appears to be it. I didn't get into Blindfolded, Megaminx or one-handed final, but I can understand that, so I guess it's time to leave. Wait a minute. So yeah, I was all ready to go, and it turned out I had made it to 3x3 finals. In this round, I got the best time I'd gotten in this competition, narrowly off of the sub 8 single. Once again, everyone had left by this point, so it was a very tranquil end to the day. I came 22nd in the end, which was a nice way to round things off. Oh wait, last time I said I would win 3x3 this time, didn't I? I promise I'll win next time.